Hey everybody, this is actually my second attempt at starting the video. And I just wanted to go over this is the market report for September. It's actually the report of what happened in August, but this is the September report. And really not a lot going on that we don't typically expect in the fall market. Normally in Squamish, we get a substantial drop in volume. It's regarding families typically getting their kids organized for school and then getting them sorted in school. So you end up getting the second half of August and the first half of September is particularly quiet in Squamish. Probably I'd say 40 to 50% of our market is families, so it tends to dry up quite a bit at that point. That's the interesting component of the broader market and something to be aware of. That has to be coupled with the fact that we haven't seen any interest rate decreases that have had an impact on people selling. And what we're seeing is that the sellers are staying tight with their prices, and buyers are not prepared to come up and match what the sellers want. So it's been a bit of a stagnant market. We've had a total of 26 sales in all of August, even up through till September 8th. There's been no additional sales recorded. So that's kind of an interesting fact to keep in mind. The other factor that we have to consider is that God, I hate it when I do that. There's actually nothing else to consider except the statistics, so let's just go right into it. Sometimes I have a little fun with this. So when we're looking at the statistics, I'm going to move that up and I'm going to hide this so you don't have to look at that. The housing price index, again, relatively unimpactful, as I've said before, when we're looking at this. It's come off a little bit, but that's hard to determine. You have to look at the trend in Squamish. The trend is slightly higher in prices, although we haven't seen that when we're negotiating contracts. So I think that comes from higher end properties selling. The dip in those prices, the benchmark prices falling, is because we've seen a lot more condos selling this past month as opposed to homes, which fits with the whole family dynamic where we're not seeing families buying homes, but instead we're seeing more homes purchased or more properties purchased by people that do not have kids. So that's what's happening there. Percentage of the original price. We talked about this last time, and this has had a big change. It bounced up, but again, we have to be careful with what we're looking at here. The type of buyers that have come in are buying homes. So you're going to start buying townhouses and condos. And with the condo prices, people are a little bit more reluctant to come down in price, but the people that are buying are feeling a little bit of urgency. And that is also caused by the reporting of sales from new developments that have come in. So those sales have been reported. We're starting to see completions occur, which means we're also seeing a higher percentage of the asking price. So we want to keep that in mind. If the next couple of months we see that drop below 96%, as I said last month, that's a time where we need to be, okay, things are going awry here. I do think that that's going to be met with an interest rate drop. And so it might just be enough to offset the asking prices coming down as interest rates also come down, and they might offset people and the market will stay stable. But if the interest rate drop isn't significant enough, you may see a little bit of pressure in prices over the winter. Spring will be a different story, but for now, looking at the winter, that's what we're looking at. Total inventory, as you can see, mentioned new listings came down. So the number of new listings, they say there's 61 new listings. There's not 61 new listings. There's 26 solds, and there was 67 new listings that came on the market. But what you want to be aware of is that that's a higher number of listings coming on, but the total inventory has actually gone down. And that is because people are taking their properties off of the market going into the fall. So we're seeing a little bit of people stepping aside. Whether or not those people come in when the market picks up again in October, November, we'll have to wait and see. Finally, the sales to active ratio did have a little bit of a tick up, but you can see here we are in a very, very tight band. And I've never used this before to see if I can draw on it, but I'm pretty sure there's somewhere that allows me to draw. I'll have to figure that out next time, see where the tool is that I can draw on this. But you can see that around about this 0.3 level, there's quite a band across the top, and down around the 0.12 level, there's quite a band along the bottom. Once we break out to either side of that, that's when you can see some impact on the market. So we'll keep you posted on that. And in the meantime, we'll talk about the on the ground. On the ground, we're seeing a lot of buyers looking between the 500,000 or 600,000 up to the 900,000, and then it stagnates after that. So we'll see when kids get back in school and they've got everything sorted out, whether or not we see a pickup in the single family homes in October, November. And then, as we always do see in December and January, things will slow down quite a bit. August was a bit of a slower month than we've seen in previous years. But again, with no interest rate developments and with the things that are going on in the economy and a lot of trepidation and no foreign buyers, things are definitely going to be slower. So that's where we sit right now. We'll talk soon. I hope fall is good to you. And as we head into the winter, let's make sure we get our warm clothing out and get everything ready to go. If you're thinking of selling your home though, let's make sure that you're preparing for when you're going to list it. Right now, as we go into winter, you want to make sure you're doing all the winterization of your home that you need to keep it into good shape so that when you list it in the spring, it's going to be an easier process. If you have questions about that, give me a shout. If you have questions about the market at any time, call me. I'm available anytime and I love talking real estate. It's Simon Hudson with McDonald Realty, 604-892-8155. Have a fabulous day, everybody.